indication of a project's profitability. Money in, what is your return going to be? You work that out to a percentage. I use internal rate of return and a return on investment, which are similar ideas. An internal rate of return for me is more important because it not only considers the money in and the money out, but it considers the time in which your money comes in and when your money comes out. So I like IRRs when I do my cash flows. I promise you when we sit down in a future session, for anybody in this room, we will have an investment seminar. That's very different than what we're doing today. Today is general information, more of a political discussion as well. But when it comes to investing, Kanish, there's very specific criteria we need to follow. It is objective, 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 black and white. There is no room for subjectivity in that discussion. Moving on, we've had that discussion. Let's get to this question. I know people must be getting hungry and losing their attention spans at this point. Is the market going to crash? No. When you look at stats, does this change your mind? Because this is what's happened in 2017. This is the the list to sales ratio in 2017. So this was 2016, and in the first quarter of 2017, your list to sales ratio went from an average of about 102.5% to 110%. What does that list to sales ratio mean? It means I listed my house for what, $1 million. Okay, in 2016 it sold for $1,025,000, but in 2017 first quarter it's selling for 1.1. Okay, yes.
So I have a question, and I've wondered about this for the longest time, because we all talk about how prices keep increasing, but I'm wondering what percentage of that is because whoever sells next has to recoup the double land transfer tax and the agent.
That's a very interesting point.
How much is it really going up in value?
That's a very interesting point, because on that.
I don't know if those stats are anywhere.
No, they're not. But the 1.1 million house I just discussed, that would be a land transfer tax. What, 40,000, 36,000, something? It's crippling. That's a lot of money. So how much? It's got to be a consideration. It's got to be a consideration. Right.
Right?
Yes.
But these numbers, like houses still get listed at like $699 when they're already expecting 1.1.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the ethics of the industry, and I agree with you. I think there's some challenges there because. I mean, in fact, some realtors and some real estate offices, they're trained to list it intentionally low so they can have a database of future purchasers that they can farm for other transactions, right? I don't do that here. I don't agree with that necessarily, but it happens. It's something we can't always control, at least at this point. Maybe that should have been in the fair housing plan. You know, that would have been a little more of something to tackle. Yeah.
So we had this. It's the last quarter that seems to have really gone completely bonkers.
Yeah.
So
why?
What happened fourth quarter 2016 versus first quarter 2017? That's the thing that I think really freaked everybody.
Yeah, it's foreign investors, no question. End of discussion.
Detached housing prices.
We did, and I think we're on the same page, Irene and I, for the response on this, Stephen. And I think it's very simple. I was actually for a while in 2016 after doing these seminars going, am I an idiot? Am I wrong? Like, why isn't this skyrocket? Because I've been predicting a condo skyrocket for 5 years now, saying, okay, guys, this has got to move. And it hasn't been moving. And then 2017, all of a sudden, it came at once. It's that elastic band theory. We just kept stretching it. And then finally, when it let it go, it's gone a little too far on the other end. Obviously, this isn't going to continue. There's no question about it. What's happening now is I think the market's naturally saying, we got to catch up. It's a correction the other way, in many ways. It's a correction saying, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, we're not where we should be. Let's get up there. Is it a little more aggressive than it should? Absolutely. Okay, it is definitely more aggressive than it should be. But I got asked the question by some people actually sitting in this room, does that mean I should sell and take advantage of this? And I answered very simply, without the crystal ball, no, not really. Because even though that may be a knee-jerk reaction and a long overdue reaction, we still have a lot of room to grow. Long term, we still have a lot of room to grow. Did you want to add to that, Irene? You were nodding your head.
No, I agree with you, and I think
it's the first time ever, by the way.
and condo investors, I think that we're not doing it. We're not buying land. The investment strategy is a little bit different. So as long as your costs are being met to keep it, I don't,
Yeah.
we're not going into a bubble to deflate.
And that cost being met is going to be an issue now with the fair housing plan. Yes,
Right.
it's going to be a big problem.
Big,
yes.
huge issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things is we're also catching up, as you said, we are now an adult city.
That's right.
We are now catching up to the Londons and Parises and the New Yorks of the world from a pricing standpoint,
Mhm.
because their properties are significantly more expensive.
That's right, and that actually ties in very nicely to the slide after this. I'm just reminding everybody of our inventory crisis. Keep that in mind. Okay, is the market going to crash? Can it crash? Can it crash with the population growth I just described and that many homes on the market? I know the government's doing its part to make it crash, okay, but can it crash? This is what the average Toronto condo price was at the end of March, $668 a square foot. That is skewed based on where it is. Downtown is much higher, of course. Scarborough leads the bottom. Scarborough, if you are looking for some affordability, there is still some opportunity there. And I don't think it's going to last there forever. I really don't. I think there's a lot of expansion coming to Scarborough. But you look at our city and you always say, well, you can't buy anything out there. Yes, you can. Okay? You absolutely can still find affordable pockets of the city. We'll just end the discussion there. But on average, it's $668 a square foot in Toronto on the resale market. Okay? New construction, okay, unsold, averages out now at $725 a square foot. New construction. It did. It did. This is an older statistic. Yes, I know that they've gone up. That's at the end of 2016. It is higher than that now. And I mean, keep in mind too, this is averaging out the entire city of Toronto, not just Yonge and Eglinton, not just Bay and Bloor. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you next, is there is a outdated statistic I had from last year of how we compared Toronto to the rest of the world in condo prices. And I've tweaked it. I finished it took me an hour yesterday to do this, but I tweaked it so that we used this figure on the resale market. Why? Because the resale market has gone above $668 a square foot. And let's just assume we're picking the more desirable neighbor of Toronto. So I've actually gone above $50 a square foot for the next slide. Keep that in mind. Where does Toronto rank globally for condo prices? Well, LA is still more expensive than us. Vancouver is still considerably more expensive than us. Paris, well, they're double us. Singapore, New York, London, Hong Kong. Globally, Toronto pretty much ranks, and this is at an inflated scale. If I use the old scale, we'd actually be the 4th least expensive of this entire list.
What's the cheapest?
Geneva's?
Dubai's the
Oh,
cheapest.
Dubai. I think Dubai had a market crash, though. I'm not sure what's going on in Dubai.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. That's.
All the money left in Canada.
Yes, that is the secret of the seminar. We have some Dubai properties here. But yeah, you can see that Chicago's behind us.